This is Money and Public Finance, Program BCom, Subject Economics, Semester 2nd, University Mangalore, Session 17. Meaning, types and causes of inflation. Inflation means substantial and rapid increase in general price level which causes a decline in the purchasing power of money. The features of inflation are: inflation is always accompanied by a rise in the price level. It is a monetary phenomenon. It is an economic phenomenon. Inflation is a dynamic process. A cyclical movement of prices is not inflation. Pure inflation starts after full employment. Inflation may be demand pull or cost push. Excess demand in relation to the supply of everything is the essence of inflation. Next, we have to see the types of inflation. Inflation can be classified as under. On the basis of speed, inflation can be classified as creeping inflation. Under this, prices rise about 2% annually. It is the mildest form of inflation. It is regarded as conducive to economic development. Walking inflation. Under this, prices rise about 5% annually. Running inflation. Under running inflation, prices rise may be about 10% per annum. Galloping or hyperinflation. This is the last stage of inflation which starts after the level of full employment. Under the galloping inflation, the prices rise every moment and there is no upper limit to the price rise. In the figure, OA indicates creeping inflation where price rises by 50% in 25 years. AB indicates walking inflation where price rises by 50% in 10 years. BC indicates running inflation where price rises by 50% in 5 years. CD indicates galloping inflation where price rises by 50% in 2 years. On the basis of inducement, inflation may be classified on the basis of inducement as wage-induced inflation. This is due to increase in wages. Profit-induced inflation. If the producers, due to their monopoly position, tend to mark up their profit margin, it will lead to profit-induced inflation. Scarcity-induced inflation. Scarcity-induced inflation occurs when prices tend to rise due to shortage of supply of goods on account of natural calamities. Deficit-induced inflation. Rise in prices due to deficit finance of the government to cover the deficit in the budget is deficit-induced inflation. Currency-induced inflation. This is due to excess supply of money. Credit-induced inflation. This is due to increased expansion of credit. Foreign trade-induced inflation. This is due to sudden rise in demand for exportable and trade gains. On the basis of time, inflation can be classified as peacetime inflation. The rise in prices during normal period of peace is peacetime inflation. Wartime inflation. This occurs during a period of war. Post-war inflation. This occurs after the end of the war when the pent-up demand finds open expression. On the basis of scope, inflation can be classified as comprehensive inflation. This occurs when the prices of all goods and services increase throughout the economy. Sporadic inflation. Sporadic inflation is sectoral inflation. It affects a few sectors of the economy. On the basis of government reaction, inflation can be classified as open inflation. Here, the government takes no steps to check the price rise and the market mechanism is allowed to function without any interference. Suppressed inflation. Here the government makes efforts to check the price rise through price control and rationing. On the basis of employment level, inflation can be classified as partial inflation. Here, the price rise as a result of expansion of money in the pre-full employment stage. Full inflation, the increase in the money supply after the full employment level leads to full inflation. Other types of inflation. Ratchet inflation. While the prices rise in the excess demand sectors, they are not allowed to fall in the deficient market demand sectors. As a result, general price level increases. This is ratchet inflation. Stagflation. The simultaneous existence of high rate of inflation and of high unemployment is called stagflation. Next, we have to see the causes of inflation. Inflation is a result of disequilibrium between demand and supply forces and is attributed to first, an increase in the demand for goods and services in the country. Secondly, a decrease in the supply of goods in the economy. The factors causing increasing demand are increase in money supply, increase in government expenditure, increase in private expenditure, reduction in taxation, increase in exports, increase in population, paying of debts, and black money. The factors causing decrease in supply are scarcity of factors of production, hoarding, trade union activities, natural calamities, increase in exports, law of diminishing returns, war, and international causes. Thank you.